Coming in just after 7 p.m. on a Wednesday, February 10th. Congratulations on making it to another edition of the Grando show. I can't believe it myself sometimes. So give yourselves a round of applause, pat yourself on the back. Like I always start the show, I just want to say, hope everybody's doing okay. Hope everybody's figuring the plan out, and just trying to, find some kind of rhythm, find some kind of routine. Routines help a lot. I have a huge show today. I have a huge size Grando show. Mega Grando show, which is bigger than Supreme Grando show, by the way. Cheers and salud, everybody. I don't know where to start. I really don't. I was gonna start with an impression of my dog when she knows I have snacks, and then it's her time to get snacks. And she knows I got snacks. And she looks at me, and this is what she does. Where's my snack, motherfucker? Where's my fucking snack, you fuck? But I know it. I can look at her and she'd be like, "Where's my fucking snack? You fat bastard." Let's keep it moving. Let's keep it snappy. Let's keep it snappy and let's keep it moving, all right? Because we're gonna try and have some fun. I know I've been very emotional lately, but I want people to know that I'm not always emotional. I do like to have fun. And I'm not always so fucking in my own head to where I can't have fucking fun. So let's have some fucking fun, you fucking motherfuckers. Send us some pitches. Okay. Now, alright, so first things first. I don't want to... excuse me. I don't like to comment on things that I don't know about. Like, there's a lot of stuff on the news that I'm just not familiar with, so I won't bring it up, and I've always said that, like, if I'm ever talking to people about doing my show, I always say, I don't mind talking politics as long as you add something to it, like, don't just bring something up for the sake of bringing it up, have an opinion on it or try to, solve something, about it. So my 2 cents about the Wingstop. My 2 cents about the GameStop. The GameStop is it seems that playing the stock market is very what's the word I'm trying to say? It's like it's a gamble, playing the stock market. And the thing is, from what I can understand, is that some certain people were going to try to manipulate the stock market, and other people said, no, you cannot manipulate it because you're not part of a hedge fund, and so that is kind of troublesome. And just the simple fact that the wealthy are saying that only the wealthy and billionaires and these banks are allowed to manipulate the stock market. If you're a day-to-day trader and and not bankrolled by a corporation, then you got no business doing it. I also understand that the stock market is Okay, listen, they got bailed out by the banks when we know in 2002 when a bunch of banks went bankrupt because the housing market took a shit, because a lot of people were getting boned on their houses because the banks were giving out loans to people who couldn't afford them. Okay. Now, some people don't understand that, how bad it gotten. Well, the thing is, it affects one type of people in particular, and that's minorities, because there's not a lot of rich. I mean, rich white people who are going to worry about the housing bubble. So it affected a lot of people, and I do feel like that is the price we pay sometimes for being in a capitalist nation, right? But the ironic thing is that what saved capitalism is socialism, basically, because the banks bailed them out. So it's very strange, because I feel like a lot of people are just brushing that aside and not really realizing the impact that something like that will have on poor people or minorities. I mean, let's face it, there's a lot of poor minorities out there who when the housing markets took a shit, it bankrupted a lot of people and set people into like a very downward spiral. But I just wanna know, like, how big banks, they are just all right with having that happen, because that's how they make their money, right? And it's just something that doesn't talk about, because who plays the stock market? Nobody, right? It's just sometimes it's hard to grasp the influence that the stock market has, in particular, the United States stock market. Like, I did hear that a big reason why they got bailed out was because if the United States stock market crashes, then basically the world economy is going to crash. Like, it's not just us that's going to suffer. It's going to be, India, China, all of them are going to crash because of us, And it's kind of a heavy burden, right? To think like that, But I just it's a definitely out of my tax bracket, But sometimes it's hard to comprehend things like that. And like I said, I don't like to comment on things that I'm not sure about. All I know is that there's always going to be people of power and wealth who are always going to need somebody to take their garbage out. Basically, if I had to put that in like the most basic terms, somebody has to walk their dog, or whatever the fuck, cook the food, change the babies, whatever. There's always gonna be, and it does seem like that's the price we pay, because we can also Wall Street will make millionaires, but it will also put people in the poorhouse. So that's the price we pay for living in a capitalist nation. So that was my 2 cents about that, and I just it just made it national news, and I don't remember the last time the stock market was in the news that much, besides when the housing market, took a shit. So it was big time news, that's for sure. And I just wanted to make sure that this isn't the first time I've heard about it, but I just wasn't sure. Like, that whole situation was kind of crazy to me, So I wanted to comment on it. Okay. All right, we're moving on. Because we're moving on. All right, we just had the Super Bowl. Everybody loves the Super Bowl. What I can say about it is that, my 2 cents about it was like, it really depended on who you're going for and what angle you're looking for. If you're an offensive guy and like a lot of scoring, it wasn't for you. You probably had, a very bad experience. And it made me think about it made me think a lot about Peyton Manning, because I can remember, Peyton Manning was a great quarterback, and I can remember the first time he went to the Super Bowl with Denver, and they played the Seahawks, right? That was Russell Wilson's championship. And I just remember watching that game and just being like, okay, well, here comes Denver. Denver's going to come back. We're now. Anytime now, Denver's going to start scoring. And it never came. And I just kind of figured, after it, you guys kind of thought, well, fuck, Seattle's defense was that good. And as good as Tom Brady is, I think all the credit's going to Tampa Bay's defense, because that was a butt kicking. And also, I want to say that what stands out to me when Seattle won that game, I was so fucked up on pot brownies that I could barely enjoy myself, but I was like so zonked. They hit me really hard. I had maybe one beer, and I couldn't even eat nothing. I was so fucked up. But it was just one of those games too, very very defense, and a lot of people forget that defense wins championships. And once again, it'll show you a great defense will dominate a good offense any day of the week. And it's a very cliche, very niche saying, but it still remains true that defenses wins championships. I'm not gonna put Patrick Mahomes in the same category as Peyton Manning just yet, because Peyton Manning has a lot of stats. Peyton Manning, as great as he was, he only has 2 championships, and he was phenomenal quarterback. But Patrick Mahomes is like, it's hard. It was hard for me to listen to everybody just claim the Chiefs to be the next great dynasty, and even when they lost, it was like, well, dynasty's on hold. Whoa, fuck, okay. It started before they came, and so, honestly, I did think the Chiefs were gonna win, but at the same time, you have to think about, like, is there any doubt in your mind? And Tom Brady casts a big doubt in a lot of people's minds. So, anyways, I'm glad I didn't bet on that game, because I came real close to betting on that game, and I'm glad I didn't. Because in hindsight, maybe I should have seen that. And because all the money was on Tampa. Chiefs were the favored, And I was like, fuck. But the spread was like 3.5, I think. And so it was just Tampa. All the money was on Tampa, and I was just kind of floored by that. But I was at the same time now. I should have seen it. Like I should have been like, oh, okay, well that makes sense, And now everything like the Green Bay makes sense now, And so, I would not be surprised if we see these two teams again for the next Super Bowl. And one other thing, I mean, when I first looked at the stadium, I thought there was more than. It looked packed in there, and there was like a lot of cutouts or whatever, but it still looked kind of packed. So, but very forgettable game. That's for sure. But like I said, it depended on which side you were rooting for. Yeah. See, just I wouldn't be surprised if we see those two teams again. But shoulda, coulda, woulda. We still got a long way to go. We'll see what happens in the off season with trades or whatnot, and we'll see what happens. 'Cause somebody getting paid. That's for sure. Somebody getting paid. Okay, so one thing I did want to bring up was in Tampa, they had, there's a bunch of fans who went out on the streets after, the Bucks won, and they're, celebrating in the streets, and the streets are packed with people, and I'm like, and there was a discussion, right? Well, because we are still in a pandemic, what can you can't stop people from celebrating. That's what I'm saying, though. If I was in Tampa and my team just won the Super Bowl, best believe I'd be out there, And then there's like discussion like, well, fuck, we're having sports right now, right? We're having sports right now, and we don't have, people in the stands, but I mean, but we're in a pandemic, so I don't know how you can tell people not to get together. It's very, very I don't know. It's crazy to tell people to not celebrate. And then the question was raised, well, why are we having sports in the first place? Because we're supposed to be social distancing. Well, fucking, I know we're supposed to be social distancing, and I do that shit. But it's all about the dollars. It's big businesses. Owners are losing money right now, so we can't be having that, right? That's why we're allowed to fly in planes, but we're not allowed to go in restaurants. But things are changing. And hopefully they change as fast as it came as we started the pandemic. Hopefully it changes as fast as we get out of it, because Oregon just I just heard today that Oregon is lifting the eat indoors ban. So we're gonna start seating people inside at 25% capacity, and so we're on our way. I mean, I just hope that it, like I said, I just hope that it happens as fast as it came. The change happens, as fast as it came. So that's definitely very cool. Very cool. And also just to go back to the fans in Tampa thing, I don't think Florida ever shut down. I don't think Florida ever shut down, right? It's like Texas. And I can't, I'm thinking about that, right? I'm thinking about that. And I'm like, I don't understand how you make that call. How you say we're just not going to shut down. And we're going to put certain people at risk. We understand that, but it's a risk that we are ready to it's a risk that they're going to take to stay open, okay? It's a risk of your family, my family, the neighbors' kids, tourists. We're gonna put everybody at risk because we're gonna decide to stay open. And you can, and I'm listening to myself say those words, and I'm like, it's hard. It's hard to make that call, to say we're gonna risk your family and my family, and we're gonna just stay open. I don't know if I can make that call, to be honest with you. I don't know if I can do it. But that's why leaders in charge get paid the big bucks, because they have to make decisions like that. Now, just to get back on the Florida and Texas thing, about a week ago, I was telling myself, or I was thinking about that, and I can really see the appeal. I can really see the appeal why people are going there. Because, like, we're still pretty much on lockdown. I mean, restaurants close at 9 here. And to a degree, there's still a lot of things that are shutting down, that are never going to open up again. So yeah, I can see it, and it's very frustrating. It's very frustrating to see it, It's very frustrating. And so I can see the appeal of moving to Texas or Florida and just being like, fuck that shit. I'm so sick of this shit. Why do we have to follow the rules and other people's don't? And I understand that I'm not the only one to ask these questions, right? I understand that. And I also understand that, I used to think that, people shouldn't have to ask. You shouldn't have to ask people to wear a mask or social distance. Like you shouldn't have to make it a law. You should just say it. You should just say, like, you guys need to be wearing masks and you guys need to be social distancing right now. But just like little kids, what I'm saying, you tell somebody to do it and they're going to want to do the opposite. I mean, it's not just that. It's like anti-maskers. It's, lack of fucking trust in civil servants, and it's everything just got compounded right at the right time. So yeah, obviously I used to think that you shouldn't have to make mask wearing a law and social distancing a law, that you should just be able to tell people, because we're have loved ones that may get sick and die. But people are stupid. Some people are fucking stupid. You need to tell them. And maybe there needs to be a law that this, and this needs to happen during the pandemic, or if any kind of outbreak happens again, there needs to be a law that says, okay, well, this needs to happen, this, and this, to make sure that none of this It's not that none of this will ever happen again, but we don't get as caught off guard again. You know what I'm saying? Cheers. Salud, everybody. Yeah, so what I think Texas and Florida did, they kind of just did like the reverse psychology thing to their people, I think. Which maybe would have worked. I don't know. Like yeah, you go ahead. Don't wear a mask. Don't wear a mask. And somebody's like, well, fuck, I should wear a mask. You know, reverse psychology, people. Use your brains. Use your brains. We're all little kids. We don't like getting told to go to our rooms. Tell us to smoke cigarettes and stay up late. And then we'll do the exact opposite. Reverse psychology. This is actually harder than it looks, to be honest with you. You have to have like a setup. You have to be able to, put sounds to words. Blah. And you gotta try and put it together. That's what I'm trying to do here, is put it all together, ladies and gentlemen. I'm gonna try and put it all together. I like it. I like this podcasting. It definitely it's definitely not easy though. But I'm gonna try and stick to it and see how far it gets me. I'm gonna try and do some more networking next week, and hopefully I get some more views and likes, and we'll see what happens. Let's see if I get to get a syndication, maybe do this shit in the real studio one day. But I do have some plans. I do have some more people that I want to get on here. It just gonna take some time, it just takes time. Because obviously, with the pandemic and everything, it's not easy to get in touch with people that you want to about coming together. But wow, things are changing. So we'll see how far we get, because I still don't have shit to do. I don't got a motherfucking thing to do. So what do? I listen to fucking podcasts all day. Before work, before we open, I'm in the kitchen by myself, and I'll listen to a podcast here and there, So I'm always trying to keep my ear open, that's for sure. So we're gonna go ahead and switch gears. We're gonna get into one of my stories that I want to put on wax. So, all right. So there's a bar I used to go to after work, like during the week. Because during the week, we would close at 11. So there's a few. The bars don't close till 2:30 here. So I get off at 11, and I'd be like, "Fuck, I don't want to go home." So there's a couple bars over here near me, and there's just one bar that I really started going to more frequently towards just before the pandemic, maybe 3 or 4 months. And so it was it's called Patty's Pub. It's an Irish bar, and it was a great spot. It was right on the corner of First and Yamhill in Portland here, and great atmosphere. Just a great bar. The bar sits about say 18, like 18, 20 people comfortably. And their liquor selection, outstanding. They have their whole back wall was full of liquor. They used a ladder. They used to use a ladder. They had about 8 rows of liquor, and it's over 600 bottles, over 600 different spirits they had on the wall there. And they would use a ladder, and they'd use that ladder all the time. And plus, I knew all the bartenders there. Like a lot of bartenders in Portland, all of them were fucking strong as fuck. All of them knew their shit, and they were just like constantly mixing shit and doing, things I like I'm already forgetting. I mean, like, just wow, just great bartenders. Okay. And so the whole backstory to my Patty's story was that a big reason why I started going more is because I started bartending. And there's one day I was at the bar, and the guy asked for a wild turkey rye, and I ain't even heard of it. I know wild turkey, but I've never seen the rye before. And he's like, "Yeah, do you guys have it?" I was like, "No, we don't have that." He's like, "Hey, well, so he's like, the wild turkey rye is great, man." He's telling me straight up. He's like, "Hey, so if you ever come across it, you should try it, So I was like, "Wow, no way!" So I found it, and like that bar had 600 different whiskeys or whatever, different spirits. So they had a whole row of nothing but rye whiskeys. So I tried every one of them. I came close. I mean, just different ryes that you never see anywhere, So I was trying them, not just because of that. What the guy said was because I wanted to make sure that I knew what I was talking about, and like if I needed to make like a Manhattan or something different, like I don't know, like a whiskey sour or like a fucking, the drinks with the, I can't believe I'm drawing a blank right now, but there's a couple of drinks that require a rye whiskey. So I wanted to make sure that I knew what I was talking about, and it was something that I liked, and I can put out there. Like if somebody like said, "Well, will you just make me something?" So that's another big reason why. Because I was bartending at the time, and I wanted to, I wanted my palate to get better. I wanted to understand what I was tasting. So one night, back to Patty's. Okay, so one night I'm at Patty's, and I'm sitting at the bar, and it's like I think it's a Friday or Saturday, and I don't understand why I was there that day, but it was starting to get packed, and it was starting to actually I did work that day because I stayed till the end, right? And so I sit at the bar, and I'm just I'm having a drink or whatever. And so a couple comes, and one of it's a man and a woman, and the lady sits down, and then she sits next to me, but the guy's standing up because there's no more chairs. Like I'm kind of towards the end of the bar, right? And there's an open seat next to me, and so I'm like, hey, do you want this chair? I can move down one. And so the lady's like, yeah. She tells her, she talks to her guy friend, and they're like, yeah. I mean, if it's no problem. And I'm like, well, it's no problem at all. So I moved down a seat, so her guy friend can sit down. So I'm sitting down, and then so the lady starts talking to me. She's like, hey, how's it going? She's from out of town or whatever. There's a lot. It's uptown Portland, so there's a lot of motels and stuff. So I'm like, yeah, I work in Old Town, and we start talking. I start talking to her about the rye whiskeys. And so I tell her what I'm doing. I'm like, I'm going through all of these, she just starts laughing. And so we're sitting at the bar, right? And a couple minutes pass or whatever. And so, I think I kind of like amazed her with my story, because, she sits down, right? And she looks at her man, and she talks to him real quick, and then she looks at the bartender, and she goes, I'll take a shot of Pappy's. And I'm like, what the fuck? Now, I'm not an idiot. I know Pappy's, right? Pappy Van Winkle's. Now, so she says, can we split it? So she gets a split shot, which is not very uncommon for whiskeys. So with her and her boyfriend. And so I look at the bartender. It's a friend of mine. I know her. And she's opening up the bottle, and it's a brand new bottle. I could tell. And she's like, yeah, you're going to get the first pour. And so she pours a split shot, for the two. And she gives them, the fancy shot glasses. They look almost like a chalice shots. They're little miniature, like rounded bottom shot glasses. Okay. And so I'm sitting at the bar, and she goes, do you want to try this? And I'm like, there's no way. I look at the bartender, and I'm like, how much was that shot? And she goes, $350. That was a $350 shot. And I go, there's no way. I was like, no, I can't do that. She's like, I insist. So I'm like, oh my God, I'm about to try a $350 whiskey. So, I grab the shot glass, and I spin it around. I swirl it around a little bit, because, I'm trying to, unleash the bouquet. I'm trying to get some air into it, and I take a sip, and there was nothing I could compare it to. Like, I've had a lot of whiskeys, right? And there's really nothing to compare it to. And on my scale, it's way over my head. I've never bought a shot. I've never bought a $350 shot. I've never came close to buying a $350 shot, So it was just, I couldn't wrap my head around the flavor and all the intents. Like, for some whiskeys, you can taste the work in it. Like, it's almost like a robotic. It's hard to explain, but it doesn't flow. And the only thing I can say that made this Pappy Van Winkle's different was that there was so much. You can tell not just the work that was into it. Like, I could taste like the flow. It just everything flowed. Like, to the body, to the aftertaste, everything just flowed, And I know it doesn't make sense to a lot of people, but everything just like came together so clearly and deliciously that it's unforgettable. And like I said, there was nothing I can compare it to, but there's still nothing I can compare it to, So now. So I take the sip, and I drop the glass, and there's still like a decent amount of liquor in there. So she takes a swig, and she goes, take another sip. I'm like, no, I can't. She's like, I insist. And so I was like, okay, cool. And so I take another sip, and it was just the same thing. And I just it's a spirit in the sensation that I got, and uh the whole vibe that I got from just taking those two sips changed the whole trajectory. It was fucking delicious, and I, I, it's kind of just right place, right time, because I don't know if I'm ever gonna be able to taste anything that good ever again. And I can even remember one of the bartenders kind of looking at me sideways because yeah, he was jealous. He was totally jealous because like I said, it was a super exclusive bottle, and they had like 3 of them, and that was the first time that bottle had been opened. And you know, it's very hard to explain what I felt afterwards, but I didn't need to drink anymore. And I can drink, okay. I work for a fucking brewery. I mean, we get free beer. You know, if we get short pours, you know, if there's short pours after canning beers, we get them. You know, any new beer that comes out of our place, we have to try them. Or we get to try them. We don't have to try them, but it's, you know, it helps if we all try our beer. So we all get, you know, cans or tasters, you know. And so, yeah, we all basically, you know, we used to get a shift drinks, and we can even take some home. You know, I get paid to drink beer, so I'm not a fucking noob. So yeah, I mean, just from those 2 sips, it just changed my whole views, you know. And I was more high than drunk, you know, but it was just a very, very crazy sensation, you know. It's very unforgettable, you know. So I mean, so yeah, you know, I just I miss that place. And it's it really sucks that you know, we're shut down. You know, I have been back there since the pandemic, and they were open for a bit, and then the second time we got shut down, they just kind of shut it down, and they're closed now. But I just have so many good memories from there, you know. And then the bar, you know, the bartenders and the atmosphere. You know, I just, it's really sad that it's shut down right now. But you know, like a lot of places, you know, there's just some places where, I mean, especially here in Portland, I found more than one time where I would go to a bar and I would sit there, and I just remember thinking to myself, I don't ever want to move from this place, you know. And I get so comfortable there, and it's like nothing I've ever felt before. And it's so sad that where I'm not able, or people aren't able to have that experience anymore. You know, it's just, especially like right, and especially Patty's. It was right in a section of town to where you would get big business guys coming in after work. You know, there was like a law firm on the upstairs, so a lot of lawyers would come and just sit at the bar, and they would just chop it. They would just talk, you know, they would just talk to people at the bar because they were just so sick of, you know, whatever work, you know. They just wanted to unwind and grab a drink. And it was all types of people, and every type of people, and they would all, you know, come there for the same reason, to escape. And like I said, it's really frustrating to know that they're shut down right now, and I just I hope that one day I'll get back there. So. Oh my God. But yeah, it's just something that I wanted to talk about, and I wanted to make sure that you know, I just want to make sure that I mention it, because some things we shouldn't forget. That's all I'm saying. All right. Woo. We are chugging right along. We are chugging right along, ladies and gentlemen. We are doing it. We're going to switch it up a bit now. We're going to switch it up a bit, okay? Because you know what's coming. You know what's coming. It's your favorite. It's my favorite. It's the top 5 list. Ladies and gentlemen, coming in. Coming in hot. Coming in hot. Coming in hot. Now, I cannot stress enough, ladies and gentlemen, the top 5 list. I have no formal training. There is no science behind my list. These are not proven facts. I'm kind of an idiot. These opinions are mine and mine alone. But they're pretty good. I have to say they are pretty good. Okay. All right. Oh my God, where is it? I have it somewhere. I think I lost it. Oh, here it is. All right. We're back in business. We're back in business. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, my top 5 list for February 10th, 2021. Top 5 list coming at you in your motherfucking mouth. So these are my top 5 whiskeys. I love whiskey. I love to drink it after work. I used to love drinking it at bars. Knock on wood, I get to drink whiskey at a bar again soon. At the bar. Not at a table. Behind the bar. I'm talking at the bar. So these are my top 5 whiskeys. Oh, my weed is not cooperating. Okay. Top 5. Number 5, Jack Daniels. Jack Daniels is pretty good. It's good. It's a good whiskey. It's a good sipping whiskey, but it just gives me the trot, something fierce. But it's number 5, and it's a solid number 5. It's a solid whiskey. I enjoy it. I don't really order it at the bar anymore when I go out. It's usually like if I want to, do like Jack and Cokes at home, something like that. So that was number 5. That's a solid number 5. Number 4 is the Bullet. Now it's the Bullet Rye. Bullet is a good whiskey. Bullet, the bourbon and the rye are both really good. And towards when I first started drinking it, I did do the bourbon more, but I like the spicy. Like I said, I like rye whiskeys, and this is one of the better ones. And it's also a good mixer to mix in with the drink, so that's why I'm choosing it at number 4. Like this is a tough one. This was a tough one for me. I really had to think about this one because I've tried a lot of whiskeys, and so but I definitely wanted to narrow it down to my top 5. Otherwise, I'd be here all day. So number 4 is Bullet Rye, good whiskey. Number 3 is going to be the Maker's Mark. Maker's Mark whiskey. Maker's Mark, I used to think that was more expensive than I gave it credit for. But it's definitely classy. It's a classy whiskey. It's definitely something that's a good present. Like you could give it out as a present, and they wouldn't think less of you. They'd be like, "Oh, this guy's got some class. He's giving me Maker's Mark." Like if you get invited to like a cookout or a get together, you bring a bottle of Maker's Mark with you, and people think you have some class. They'll be like, "Oh my God, this guy must have a huge penis. He's bringing me, Maker's Mark." And it's not only that; it's a good whiskey. It's a really good whiskey, and you can, if you give it out as a present, you can feel good about it, and if you share it, if you bring it for a party, it's definitely a cool whiskey to have. The bottle's pretty cool. Maker's Mark, number 3, very classy. My two and one I struggle with. You can flip flop these. A lot of people will flip flop these, but this is my list. Okay, number 2 is Jameson's the OG. I know there's a lot of Irish whiskeys. I wanted to mention Jameson in particular because it's just been around for so long, and it's never really. It's almost like a Big Mac in a way, or like a quarter pounder with cheese, because you know what you're gonna get. Like it never disappoints you because it that's the biggest part of it is how consistent it is. Like it's the flavor's always gonna be there, and it's a really good flavor. It's a little sweet, and it's really good. Irish whiskey is some of the best whiskey in the world, and I know there's a lot of whiskeys, and I would just like to add that there's a lot of whiskeys that are like $300 and $400, but we're not talking about that. We're talking about whiskeys that you can, like everyday people can sip and drink. Okay, so we're not gonna go, huge, like, crazy. This is definitely working class people whiskey. Okay. Number 2 is Jameson. It's great to mix. It's great to shoot straight. It has so much character and body that it's very it's just very nostalgic for me, and it has so much it's just one of the best whiskeys I've ever had. It's a great whiskey. I've had many great nights drinking Jameson's. I remember when I would go out with to the bars with a couple Irish friends. I'm one in particular. Used to order 4 fingers of Jameson's, and that was his drink at the bar. And I know Irish people love it, so it just when it hits my palate, it definitely brings up some very cool memories. My number one, my number one may be strange for some people because it's a Canadian liquor. Now, all I can say about that is that I just love it. I love ordering it at the bar. I love drinking it on any type of day or occasion. I just feel like this whiskey never seems to disappoint, for whatever reason, and so that's why I made it my number one. And the only thing I can kind of put it in a category is that like obviously there was prohibition here, right? So there's a lot of liquors that got put on hold in the United States. There's a lot of distilleries that stopped making liquor, and Canada never stopped making liquor. Like, they never had prohibition. So I think so they were as to when the United States stopped, they kept going. And I think this is like a product of that, of that constant work to try and improve whiskeys. And it's a great Canadian whiskey. Yeah, I'm talking about Crown Royal. I drink it all the time when I have money, but it's a cool bottle. It's a great mixer. It's a great, you order it at the bar and you got some kind of class. You're kind of classy. I think it's miles away from a lot of whiskeys, and like I said, there's a lot of whiskeys out there, and there's a lot of blended whiskeys, and I don't like, and a lot of whiskeys are gonna get left off my list. But like I said, this is my list, and I'm not biased as far as Canadians. I just think it's a great whiskey. It's a great sipping whiskey, and so that's why I'm making Crown Royal my number one. Yeah, and I would also like to say that I don't like Crown Apple. I don't even like the Crown Rye. I like Crown Apple straight up. I mean Crown Royale straight up. That's my lick. All right. Okay. I could have done. There's just so many whiskeys, and there's a lot of rye whiskeys, and there's a lot of this and that and the other. But I'm just gonna mention this one time my liquors. I might do a tequila show. I might do a tequila list, but it's gonna be really short because I really don't drink tequila anymore. There's one in particular that I do like, but when I drink tequila, it's like a full moon out, and it's like they're very few and far between. I have to like sit down somewhere and know that I'm not gonna be able to not being anywhere for the next day or two. Just because anytime I drink tequila, I like to get into it. I like to do deep dives in that bottle. You know what I'm talking about? Like, the last time I started drinking, I drank tequila, was I bought a bottle, and I was drinking it with a couple of friends, and I was trying to finish it, and that's what I try to do though. I feel like when I buy tequila or I drink it, and I don't finish the bottle, I feel like I'm letting it down, because I feel like you should try and finish it. I mean, not by yourself, but you should try it. If you're with friends, you guys should try and finish that fucker. Have a sense of a compliment, and sense of accomplishment in your life. I will say this. I will say my favorite rye is Sazerac. Okay. Wow, great show, guys. Great show. I'll do a quick cheers. Salud. Cheers, everybody. I love y'all. I love you guys. Y'all guys, you gotta keep moving, keep it moving, guys. Well, things are changing. Things are changing fast. Hopefully, they change pretty quick for the better. Okay. But I'll be around. Holler at me. I love you guys. Peace. One love. One love. One love.